Hi everybody, this is Eric Right Now and I'm the Right Realtor, and I just want to share with you some things that I learned at a conference this week by KCM, and it was very informative, and I thought I'd share with you because man, the real estate market right now, everybody's kind of flipping out. So anyway, I've been in the real estate business for over 30 years, so I kind of consider myself an expert. I'm not perfect, but I have been around the block a few times and seen many things, and markets go up and down, and I've been part of 3 of those, so, and survived on the other side. So anyways, yeah, the first thing I want to talk about is the rising interest rates, and that's really that and inflation is what has just kind of knocked us off our rockers. Rates popped up to around 6% because the Fed raised rates. Why the Fed raised rates? Because they're trying to stop inflation. So it's all these things that tie together. We had mortgage rates below 3 at one point, which was unheard of. So people kind of got used to, oh, rates are anywhere from 2 to 4%, so that's what I'll get. And when they popped back up to around 6, everybody kind of went shock. Now, if you think about it, the average buyer's payments went up probably $400 or $500 a month compared to what they were looking at that same price home. So, like I said, it's kind of like it's shock, and so they just kind of hunkered down and said, you know what, I'm gonna wait till rates come back down. Well, I got news for you. It's going to be a while till they ever get down to 4%. That was historical lows, and that was maybe a once-in-a-lifetime thing. So that's something that we may need to put in the rearview mirror, and let's get used to that 5 to 7%, which is still a great rate. By the way, when I got into the business, 15% was the going rate, and they were happy to get it. So let's be happy with that, like I said, 5 to 7% interest rate. So that's really the big thing. Now, sellers, talked to a lot of them, and they're in shock. Why? Because it just seemed like a month or so ago that their neighbors were closing down their homes and making just incredible amounts of equity. The home prices were through the roof. It wasn't hard to sell a home because all you had to do is stick a sign out in front of it and people would line up. So that was because there was a lack of inventory, and that today is still the case. Now, it is not as bad as it once was. We actually have more homes to sell than we did before, which is a good thing. We are correcting. That's giving buyers and sellers a little chance to breathe. Sellers, yeah, you have to be better now, quite honestly, to get the price for your home that you want. But for buyers, they actually have things that they can choose from. They don't have to make an offer on a home unseen and bid incredible amounts over the list price and not even know if the home's any good or not. So that's a good thing, because that's the last thing you want to do is buy a home that you know very little about. So inventory is starting to creep up a little bit. I would say it's still a seller's market because of supply and demand, but buyers are getting into a much better position. And you know what? At the end of the day, a healthy market is the best for everybody. So one thing to look at in the housing market, people go, is it going to crash? Well, here's some of the markers that we want to keep our eye on. Number one, employment. What's our employment rate? Employment rates are good right now. Americans are working if they want to. It seems like some people don't want to work, but overall, there are jobs out there. So when we have jobs, that means people can work, and then when people can work, they can get mortgages. So that's a good thing. Lending standards. Back in the, let's say, 06, 07, 08, the lending standards were terrible. We had what I called fog the mirror loans, whereas they would give a loan to anybody that had a pulse. Well, what happened? People would get into these homes that they had no business being in, and then things got tough and they couldn't make the payments. And I got no skin in the game. I'm just gonna walk away because they probably got in for no down payment. So that's when we had the crash, and then that's when we had 8 million. It seems like foreclosure. Believe me, I remember those, walking through them with clients that stinking to high heaven because they'd been sitting in the Texas sun, just baking, and where dogs and cats had gone to the bathroom. Oh my goodness, I'm glad that's over, and I hope we don't go do that again because that was awful. So lending, we kind of learned. So you know what? People actually have to qualify for a loan, because if we're doing them a disservice by letting them have a home that they're not qualified for. So that's something that's important too. We need to keep on the foreclosure rate. The foreclosure rate actually right now is 0.4%, so that's good. You know, the last thing we want to see is people have a foreclosure, but if those start creeping up, you know, that will be an indication that we better be careful. So, and then the last thing, inventory. Like I said before, the inventory home, they consider, I don't know who they is, that 6 months is the equilibrium between a buyer's market and a seller's market. You know, in my opinion, I feel like that number is more like 3 months. If we have 3 months of inventory, I consider that healthy. That's enough homes for a buyer to choose from, but not so many that sellers are having trouble moving their homes. So inventory will be very important. You know, the last thing I want to talk about is, you know, housing as an investment. People think that, you know, well, I don't want to tie my money up into a home. You know, you can put it in the stock market, and there's other investments that you can put it in that may give you a quicker return. However, you know, a solid real estate deal, you know, a home, year over year, will give you the best value, in my opinion, that you can possibly get, because, you know, there's only so much land, especially in certain areas. They're not making any more, but it's here. And once you start building your homes, there may not be any more area for people to live in the desired area. So what happens? Prices go up, price appreciation. When you buy and hold on to something, it's a better value for you. So at the end of the day, you know, real estate is a tremendous value, not to mention what it does for you as far as a family and they have a home. To me, there's nothing better than a first-time home buyer closing on that first home. All their hopes and dreams have been fulfilled. I remember my first home, and it seemed like that first night I slept better than I ever had. It seemed like the air smelled better, the water tasted better, everything about it was wonderful. So home ownership is wonderful. I love working with first-time home buyers. It's wonderful. I love being their trusted advisor because there are some situations that you know, buyers don't want to get themselves into. And over this past year, working with buyers, there have been some situations where I've told the buyers, I wouldn't buy that home. And they're looking at me like I'm crazy. But you know what? I'd rather not make any money to see a client get into a home that, number one, is not right for them, and number two, is going to be a bad investment down the road just because we got into this panic mode. So, like I said, things have slowed down, which is good. We are going to be able to recalibrate, let the market, you know, kind of settle. Let's get our inventory levels up a little bit, and yeah, I think that we're, you know, especially by the end of the year, first of next year, things are going to be kind of back to normal, and everybody's going to be happy once again. But remember, people still buy homes in the holidays. November, December, I've had great months. The thing about it is, people that are buying homes and looking for homes, they're serious. A lot of them are on trips because it's vacation time, and they'll go scope out a new area where they're going to live, and sold a lot of homes in a November, December area because, again, you have less competition. You know, most sellers don't want to have their home on the market, so a lot of times that's a great time to have your home listed. But it depends on everybody. If you know, if they want to take the time off for their family, I totally understand that. So anyway, I hope this has helped. Again, this is just my opinion, but you know, like I said, I've been doing this for a long time, seen lots of things, and I really believe that this correction is what we needed, and that eventually we're going to be very happy for. So anyway, again, my name is Eric Reitenauer. I'm the Right Realtor. If anybody has any questions, you know, reach out to me, like and follow. I'm just here to help. Y'all have a blessed evening.